All right, George, we're live. So, hello everyone watching. Welcome to the Black Spartan Talk Show, episode 3. We finally got Mr. George Anthony Finio here today. This man, when I tell y'all, I've been trying to have him on every episode, and every time he's always with his camera off or doing something.
Yeah,
But either way, you're here today, and we're gonna be talking about books, man.
that's the best thing right there. Great introduction, Ariane.
Factual. And side note too, me and George tried to start a book club. Like when was it?
Last year.
Last year before COVID. And then
And
COVID came. You know how that goes.
all
But
our friends
coming
had
soon. We have to do it before we graduate. Just
a
has to
bust. It's for everybody, not for us. So
yeah. For the culture. For the culture. All right, so just to start off, we want to know what's your favorite book?
my favorite book, I guess would be my most recent book that I've read, which would be Ta-Nehisi Coates, The Water Dancer. If recommend this is definitely out of 5 star, a 4.8.
Tell us about it.
Well, look, I'm working on this one right here. So it's about a young man named Haram who who's back. This was born back in slavery, so the setting is back in slavery's time, and he is a child from a slave and a slave master. And one thing about Haram is he's a genius child. His he has the what is it? Great memorization skills. So his father notices that and uh brings him back, I guess you could say, in the house, because he was, more of the field. If you get what I'm saying? So, he was more of like the entertainer type. And then just as the story progresses, um, later on, I guess you in his adolescence of age, 18, 19, he ends up wanting to run away because of everything that goes on. I mean, of course, there's pieces that I got to skip out because if you want to read it, I'm not going to, spoil it for you. But basically, he ends up running away and he gets caught by who they call Ryland Hounds, which are a bunch of slave catchers. And they, beat him, whip him, more of the gruesome side. And he ends up escaping due to a person that he would never have thought would save him, and he finds out there's like more of an opposite side of this whole slave world called the underground. Now, if you're black, you know of the underground. Look to the Northern Star, walk, Harriet, you know what I'm saying? You know who we talking about, try to get away. So it's kind of like that. But um man, I could really talk about the book, and I don't want to spoil nothing. So
Okay.
that's my
Okay.
favorite
So
book.
basically, you saying everybody go pick this up.
Man, catch it. Go ahead, get you, your mama, get your daddy, get your kid, get your friends. Go ahead and spread it. You know what I'm saying? What is this? It's $18 times 10,
Probably
100.
for
Good.
less than that on Amazon used. I'll always do that.
No, but I like to highlight my books. I'm really into
Yeah,
anime.
but if you get it used, it's yours. It doesn't matter. And some of them look brand new, but they just been read before.
I don't really want no jewel marks,
Okay.
marks in my book. But yeah, you're right.
So my favorite book is this book right here. It's called Brainwashed by Tom Burrell. And this book really I read it my senior year in high school, and it just opened my eyes to so much around about the world around me that I didn't realize. And it just talks about everything. It breaks down black people in every type of way and builds us up. And at the end of it, which is my favorite part, it kind of gives you a roadmap on how to get better and just realize everything around you. And just yeah, so it breaks down the different roles of the black family. It talks about how TV shows and ads affect us, how we're dumbed down in schools. It talks about what we eat and our health, everything. And the book is Brainwashed, Challenging the Myth of Black Inferiority. So it's basically talking about how black people are not dark skinned white people. We can't assimilate to the culture of everyone else. We have our own culture, and a lot of what America is doing to us is assimilation. and it just talks about that and debunks that whole idea. And I really love this book, and I'm probably gonna read it again this year because I kind of forgot some of the stuff. But I advise everybody to go get this book. And when we were back at school, we gave out 10 free copies of this book at the center. So if you haven't and didn't read it, go read it. It's a good book.
Go read it. You heard it from Ariane first, second, and third from me.
Yes, go read that book. So our next question, we're gonna like get more into like how you started reading, what turned you into a reader, but like when you were growing up, how did you access your books? Or actually, let me back up. Were you encouraged to read when you were growing up?
Absolutely. I was in a program. I was in the GATE program when I was younger.
I
So,
can see it.
gifted and talented something, you know what I'm saying? All I know is that everybody was in the gifted and talented, little area at some point in their life. Encouraged to read always. Started from the second grade. I'll never forget my teacher, Mr. Boots. He was the first one who really encouraged me to just get into anything in life. Of course, my parents, but teacher wise, um, he brought us books. We read those. It then started to go or progress into like third, fourth grade, AR reading. If you want to go on a field trip, you had to get 25 points plus. So, I mean, reading was always encouraged. I was also always, real competitive when it came to reading. Slowed down, but I picked it back up in college. So
Yeah. Dang, how did my journey to reading start? I think I wasn't growing up. My grandma was like a reader. Like she was the epitome of the reader. She had all type of books. Oh my gosh, sorry y'all. She had all type of books, and like I remember her room just being like filled with books everywhere. But like she never really told me like you should start reading. You should start reading. But I do remember my auntie Melissa. This girl's in here making so much noise. But I do remember like it was probably in like elementary school. My my auntie had these books, and I took one and I read it. And it was one of those books like the Bloofer series. Like I don't know if people heard of that, but like it's like a Black series. Talks about just like teenagers growing up. And I read that and I was like, dang, like maybe I do like reading because like growing up, I felt like I didn't like reading. It wasn't something that like I could do. I mean, I could always read, but it's not like something I'm like, okay, let me go pick up a book. Let me just sit here and read when I instead of playing outside. Like that wasn't my story.
okay.
So yeah.
Random. Library, no library. Do you want that in the future or what?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely library.
I want a library in my room. Or not in my room, in my house.
Okay. That was just a side note. Just popped in the head. Had to ask.
Definitely. What about you?
Oh, I'm gonna need a library. My grandma, speaking of grandma is a reader every day. That's all she's doing is reading. Very religious. So a lot of Bibles, a lot of volumes of that. And she just, encourages me. And I'm building my little, I don't know, y'all can't see, but I'm building my own
Show
little
them. I'm about to show y'all mine too. I got mine too. Go ahead.
real quick. Don't let me do that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Boom. I think this is just a few right now. It's the few right now.
Big dogging you. I'm not gonna lie.
You big dogging me? Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh, color coordinated. Hold on.
I know it.
Stop playing with me. Don't make me go on that live. I mean, yeah, you got me. You read all those though, Ariane?
I haven't read all of them, not gonna lie. I've read a lot though, but not all.
Okay, you got them on as art.
I told myself I'm not buying no more books though until I like read most.
Okay.
But I just love books. Like when I see a title and it looks interesting to me, I have to get it. I have to. And that's my problem.
You look at the presentation of the book and you're just like,
I look at it like, for example, this book. This
Yeah.
is a recent book that I got, but I'm reading it right now. I'm almost done. One chapter left. But actually, no, this book somebody told me to read. Jamal told me to read this book. And I actually read it. So
shout out to Jamal.
shout out to Jamal, yeah. I never told him that I actually got it and read it. He gonna be like, told you.
So what is your favorite genre of books then?
Nonfiction.
Nonfiction?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like when I got 2 fiction books recently and I started reading it, but it doesn't like get me the same way as like nonfiction books. I got this book. It's called, I forgot the name. But it's basically like a girl growing up and like she has to like raise a white child and they're rich and then she got in a situation with like police brutality
Mhm.
and like it started going viral. It was just crazy, but I don't know, it wasn't giving me
You don't like the story? Like, what does it
story.
excite you?
You know what? I like to read what's real and
Mhm.
then yeah, I just like to read what's real. One of my favorite books too is How to. This is actually my real favorite book. This is my favorite book by a Black author, but my real favorite book is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Swear I need to read that. I'm glad
Bro,
that you said
that
that.
book is like next level. Like everybody needs to read that book. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that book, like, I like to read and get motivated and be like, yes, I can't wait to implement this in my life. And that's how I felt reading that book. And it just talks about like, you know, how you should treat people and literally how to win friends and influence people, you know, like it's a game changer.
All right. Say it again for the audience. What was the book?
It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Ooh, okay.
Dale Carnegie.
So what? Master manipulator or what?
No. It's really just how to be a good person,
Okay.
honestly. That's what it's about to me. And it really teaches you that, you know, like for example, when you're in positions of power, like you should always be complimenting your employees or the people around you and motivating you. And you should always motivate people more than you're tearing them down. So when you do have something to say, it'll be taken more easily. And, you know, no one's ever going to listen to you if you're constantly, you know, tearing people down. You know, you need to motivate them. And if you tear people down all the time and you run at a company, they're gonna hate going to work every day, and the work is gonna be half as good. Versus if they love the company and they love you, they putting in 10 times the amount of work that they originally signed up for.
Okay. Look, shout out In and Out. I hated y'all. So in what sector of your life, has a book changed your life other than what you just said?
Mm, what book changed my life?
Changed it. A complete 180. Never walked back to.
Sheesh. You go first. What I think.
All right. Definitely would have to say Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay.
Rich Dad Poor Dad right now. If you haven't read it, it's another one on the recommendation list. If you want to know a little bit about tax loopholes, regulations, corporations, you want to get your financial literacy going on, that's a must read right there.
Absolutely. I read
That,
that too, y'all. You just have to. You just have to. It's one of those books that you just have to do because
man,
it teaches you so much about money, which rules the world.
it's crazy because he said it's actually money doesn't rule. Whatever us as a population says, like, say we say, Bitcoin, for example, no physical coin. But we're saying that it's, some type of currency that we're moving or using and moving, but or trading. And everybody's on it. Everybody's on it now. So that's the big thing. Whatever we say, it goes. That's just how human is, or that's how the major population says it is. It
I
is.
feel like right now that would be money. If you think about it, like
US dollar has depreciated.
when you think of, huh?
I said the US dollar has depreciated. That's
It
money.
has,
That's
but
physical money.
I'm not talking about the US dollar. I'm just saying money. Everybody's go like most people, I won't even say everybody, but a lot of people feed into this goal of like having a better life and just
Mhm.
like providing and entering in the rat race. And that's all about money. And
Mm.
a lot of people let money control them. And I'm not saying money is supreme or anything like that, but I'm saying like money, money talks.
You do. You talk
It does.
well.
And you know, I read a quote the other day. It was like, oh, so there's this episode on Explained. It's on Netflix. I always talk about this, but it's called Billionaires. And it talks about how like the Forbes, they create the Forbes list and everything. You know, they say this person is the richest man in the world. Who is it, George? Do you know?
Bill Gates.
No, I think it's Steve Jobs now.
Steve Jobs.
I think so.
He's dead.
Wait, no, not Steve Jobs. What's that? Amazon dude? Jeff Bezos. My bad.
That's what he is.
He's the richest man in the world, right? That's what they say on Forbes. But if you think about it, like that's absolutely incorrect because the richest people in this world don't want them, they don't want to make no noise at all. They don't want to make no noise at all. Those people aren't the people that are ever going to be on the Forbes, that are ever going to be on a newspaper or anything like that because they want to keep their wealth hidden. They want to keep their wealth tucked. And what the quote said was basically like, you guys all like speak down on Jeff Bezos and like Steve and all these like billionaires or people who have money. But what you don't realize is there's always a bigger fish in the pond. And those people, you'll never hear about them because they can easily just buy a company if they don't want to be like if a news outlet puts out an article on them, they could just buy the whole company and shut it down. Like that's how simple it is. And that's just an example of how money talks.
Richest individual. I would definitely say the richest individual. When it comes to money, I don't know. I think Jeff Bezos is the richest person in the world. I feel like you know what I'm saying? You can't accumulate so much money without it just nobody finding out, nobody knowing.
You can.
This is not. We don't live in a secret life anymore. Everything is public. There is no private anymore.
There is.
I don't think there is.
There is. When you have money, whatever you want to be private is private. Have you ever heard of offshore accounts hiding money? Like these people are brilliant. That's why they're billionaires in the first place. And like a billionaire is less than 0.1% of the population. Like, and we don't even realize how much $1 billion is either. Like,
so I do. I play GTA.
$1 billion. Like everybody just go watch the episode Billionaires Unexplained, and it's crazy. It'll really break it all down, like more than I can. But we got
back to that rat race. Explain to the crowd what rat race is, because I have a question regarding that when it comes to books.
Yeah. So personally, a rat race is when, this is my definition, when you enter into the workforce and you're basically on this level of achieving a goal that you probably never will, and you outwork yourself so where you never reach the actual goal. Okay. And you have all of these people reaching one goal. You have let's look at it as like, you have a bowl of dog food and you got like 80 dogs all fighting for this one bowl of food. And only 1 or 2 dogs are ever gonna get it. Now you got every other dog just running around scrounging, trying to find food. It's a rat race.
She said it correctly. So with that being said, how has can books get you out the rat race?
Yeah. It's a perfect segue into the quote that I wanted to like share with everybody and get everybody's feelings. So I don't know where this quote came from, but I've heard it like a few times. And it says like, if you want to hide something from Black people, hide it in a book. This is what has been said. This is why I read, because I don't want anybody to ever think that they can hide something from me.
Can't take knowledge away from you, you know what I'm saying? Oh, is that Ta-Nehisi? Where is that? Ta-Nehisi Coates what?
Between the World and Me.
Great book too, you know what I'm saying?
This is my next read.
Next read, for sure. If you can, I definitely advise Toni Morrison's The Source of Self-Regard. Another great read. Just love it all.
Okay, definitely. But yeah, I mean, I think books just unlock a new level of knowledge, and it makes you analyze like way better and read between the lines, you know, like just knowledge.
They also say every reader is not supposed to read, or what, my bad. Every message in a book is not for every reader. I don't know who said that. I know I wrote it in Toni Morrison too, but just understand that too. So you may read something, I might get a different message from what you get. You know, every book is not meant for you. So learn when to put that book down. If you're not getting anything from it, you know, switch it up. Switch it up.
If I don't like a book, like first few pages, I'm putting it down. I don't care.
What?
I don't care. That's just the type of reader I am. Like I don't waste my time in stuff that doesn't interest me or doesn't spark something in me, you know? Because at that point, you're not getting anything out of it. You're forcing yourself to read. And that's where people develop a hate for reading. You're not finding books that you like and you connect to. And that's why I feel like a lot of people, not even in our community, just in general, say they don't like reading. when in reality they just haven't found a book that they like.
Mm. She keeps hitting you up. She keeps hitting you up, man. So where do you find most of your books at then? Oh, yeah. Got
Well,
100 books.
I have so many. So when I'm looking for a book, sometimes I'm just at Barnes and Noble. Like I just like to go and just see what they have and like look around. If I see the store, I'm like, And I try not to go now because I'll get a book every single time. But that's something that I do. Before I even like acquired all of these books, I just like I will make a reading list every year for myself and just like write down books that I want. And if the opportunity came, then I would get those books. But I will also like look up like when I'm on Pinterest or Instagram, stuff always comes up on my suggestions like Nipsey's reading list, top finance books,
Me
if you
too.
want to develop these skills, here are the books for it and I take note of it. And that's how I find my books. If it sounds interesting, I'll read the back, I'll look it up, see who else read it.
Is that a goal of yours to read all of Nipsey? What Nipsey's 30 books that he's read on his?
No, because I didn't like some of them.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna read The Ways of the Superior Man.
Why not? What is it about man that you don't like?
It's not even that I don't like men. It's just a book for men.
I feel like any book can. I feel like a majority of books can apply to women as well.
It
I feel like
can.
when it comes to books, there's no barrier to a book. It has no gender.
But I just can't see myself reading that book. So
This is bad feminist, Roxanne Gay. Look at
books can. I feel like female books can apply to men because it's something to learn, and maybe there's something to learn from me too. But at this stage in my life, I'm not ready to learn it.
no, not yet. It can help you so much.
Yeah,
Let me see.
but that's pretty much how you find your books.
Me, I want to say they actually come off of like impulse. Like so I'm in Palmdale, right? Uh, if I go to like the Smart and Final, or if I go to like IHOP, and I'm like, you know what, I kind of want to go in Barnes and Noble real quick. Let me check it out. I'll just walk in, look to the right, see what's on the 50% off, deduction, I got my little sale going on, right? Go to a little cookbook, see what's going on. And then as I just, gaze and look through, it's just like, all right, what can I apply to myself? What do I want to learn? What's going to help improve me later on in life? And I guess whatever my heart seeks is what I find. Whatever my eyes seek is what I find too. But like I wanted to learn about stock market, investing. Got that. Let me see. Tears we cannot stop. I think I actually got that from somebody on Instagram. Somebody told me about that one. The Richest Man in Babylon. You know what I'm saying? They told me this is a good book to read on finance. Uh, think and grow rich. You know what I'm saying? Just want to change my mind frame when it just comes about money. Stolen Legacy. If you haven't read this, go read this as
You came out with some heavy hitters.
you know what I'm
Go
saying.
put it on the bookshelf.
New Jim Crow, you know what I'm saying?
Gosh,
Yeah,
gosh,
read that as well. Now that one right there, that one's definitely that one got me mad actually. So
I've only read like the first chapter of it because when I tried to read it, it was hard for me to read at that point. That was a few years ago, but I'm definitely gonna revisit. I feel like I'm a better reader at this point.
okay, yeah, as you should. You should revisit every book. You should read every book that you have at least twice.
Yeah.
Sometime in your life or in a year, reread it. See if you guys have the same concept.
Definitely. So, what book do you feel like was essential to your growth? Did we already talk about that?
And if we haven't, we could talk about it again.
Sure.
Essential to my growth. I think I said Rich Dad Poor Dad first. That's just when it comes to financial mindset. What actually made me start asking a lot of questions, just questioning the world in general, just was probably Toni Morrison's Selected Essay, Speeches and Meditations, The Source of Self-Regard. It lets you think about the world, what's going on, the problems that we have, the problems that still haven't been solved. It also talks about, money, it talks about war, it talks about our presidents, what they are and doing, are and are not doing. Or matter of fact, just raises the questions on what can they do better, because it's honestly, it's just her opinion.
Mm-hmm.
know, if you ever read Toni Morrison, she'll get you thinking.
I think a book for me, like, what really meant so. I feel like I started questioning everything, like probably end of my sophomore year in high school. Like there was literally a moment where it was just like, dang, like it's time to just think different. And like somebody specifically was talking to me, and the stuff that this dude was talking about, I'd never heard before. He was like talking about just like what we're eating. He was a Muslim guy. He was actually a track coach, but he only did like I forgot the event, but you know, like when you throw the stick and you gotta like jump over it. You
Oh,
know,
pole vault.
yes,
Yeah.
that was his like specialty. So I never got to interact with him, but like all the black kids at my school used to hang out in one specific place. And this one specific day, I come in there, I'm just thinking I'm about to have a chill lunch, but he just spitting straight knowledge, period. And I was like, why aren't you like, why don't we have a club on this? Like, why haven't I heard this before? Or why aren't we like having classes about this? And he was like, you know what? Like, we can never have a class about this because the things that I will teach you guys, I would get in trouble because it's just gonna open your minds up to so many different things. And
Right.
that was like my last day of school, literally. So I never came back to that school either. So I
Oh,
got to interact with him ever again. But like he literally changed my perception. At that point, I started questioning everything, researching everything. And then junior year in high school, my teacher made us read Post Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Joy DeGroy. And I read that and I was like, what the
you know what I'm saying? They'll do it.
And at that point, I was like, I have to start reading more. I just have to apply myself in a different way to get what I've been missing. And that's where it started for real.
I think that's what's missing. I'm glad that we're having this discussion right now. I feel like, book clubs and discussion boards are necessary. There's this thing out in LA that I try to go to every Friday. Well, I've only been to it once, but I'm gonna try to start going every Friday. It's called Room 116, and they just have great discussions. Just questioning whatever, anything, and it's just like 20 plus people that just talk. You get a new perspective from everybody else. So I like that. And so I'm glad we're having this one right now.
Same, yeah. We need more people, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are on this wave, but like it's just I don't know. It's just a diamond in the rough to be honest. Just like finding people who are genuinely interested and genuinely want to change their circumstances, because like I feel like there's like three tiers. Like there's people who don't care, don't want to know. There's people who know but still don't care, and then there's the people who know and want to change. And like not even faulting anybody because our circumstances definitely shape our behavior and what we believe. But like I'm more so interested in being with the people who want to know and want to change. And
Mm.
like that's just my movement right now. Always reading, always opening myself up to like learn more and just try to reach new levels every day. That's the goal. So
Do you have 3 new daily goals for yourself? Oh, yeah, that's what I have for myself. I have 3 new daily goals. I gotta learn 3 new things every day. Now, have I?
I do monthly goals.
Say specific goals.
I do monthly and yearly. I don't really do daily.
Daily.
But yeah, I like literally go to my whiteboard the beginning of every month, and I write out 5 to 10 goals for myself, and I just cross it off as I do it. Yeah,
So are you always aware of these goals?
I see them every day when I wake up.
Like, all right, let me make sure I accomplished one of them.
mm, I'll just look at it and I'll be like, have I done that yet? Have I done that yet? Have I done that yet? And then when I do it, just cross it off.
Is it
For example,
forced?
huh?
Is it like you're forcing yourself,
I
or
mean,
is it more like
in a way, we have to force ourselves to do certain stuff. Like one of my goals is to invest every month. And like, maybe not every January 1st, I'm going to invest the amount of money that I want to invest, but every day I look at it and I make sure I do it before the end of the month.
investing doesn't have to be just money. Investing could be reading books. Investing could be money. Investing could be time, and people. You could be grabbing other people and look, like my mentee, he's slacking right now. He's supposed to be in here, having this
Get
conversation.
on them. Get on them.
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna talk to him. Like you said, if you don't want to learn right now, you'll learn
It has
later.
to be a genuine interest. Like you have to want to do it because nobody can make you. If somebody tries to make you, you'll grow up resenting the process, period.
I think the opposite. Actually, I think you realize later on, and you're just like, man, I wish I would have done that.
Later on. But that whole time while that person is making you, it make you not want to do it even more. Exactly. Well,
Yeah,
everybody's different. But I know, like when I was forced to do stuff, the more somebody try to make me do stuff, is the more I'll push back and like, nah, no.
that part.
Especially if I don't want to do it.
College.
But that's just me being me, however I am. But what were we talking about? I don't even know. Everything.
We didn't bounce off. You feel me? Where do you like? You know what I'm saying? It's like, where do you like to read at this point?
I like to read at night in my room, quiet. I can't have any distractions around me while I'm reading.
No, not you can't read in Barnes and Noble's library. You can't read in the
I can't
block.
read in Barnes and Noble. I cannot read in the block. Period.
No,
No.
I feel like we definitely have times where it's quiet. I know we have times where it's quiet because I'm
I
just
can't even
sometimes
do
in there
homework.
like in the block.
No. For
It's so
me,
easy.
in my mind, I designate spaces for certain things, and like it doesn't even matter if that space gives me the ability to do something else that I didn't designate it for. I can't. For example, for the block, I designate that as a social space. Period. So even when it's quiet, my mind is so fixated on the fact that this is supposed to be a social space that I can't even go back to it.
I look at the block just like how I look at parties. Like there's gonna be that group that is, really loud, turning up. There's gonna be that group in in the back doing what they do. There's gonna be that group on the side that's just talking. There's gonna be the other group, where they just sitting on the wall looking, seeing what's up. I feel like you get that same exact environment in the block.
And could you read at a party?
Me, I could definitely be at a party.
No.
I for sure I could be at a party, you know what I'm
I'm a,
saying?
no, I'm not a social butterfly, but I can't read anywhere.
Oh yeah, you're not a social butterfly. She's lying.
I'm
Don't
only,
lie to this. Don't lie to the audience.
no, I'm not. This is me. If I know you and I built a relationship with you, definitely a social butterfly. But I remember my first day at the block, I was by myself in a corner, not talking to anybody because I didn't know anyone. Like I have to warm up.
Well, as black people, we should just be able to just, what's up? How you doing? What's going on?
Hey, that's exactly what everybody did for me though. And that's why I love the block so much because I didn't know anybody, but people was definitely coming up to me like, wait, what's your name? You work here now? Oh, what's your major? Oh, hi, I'm this one person, I'm XYZ. And I was just like, wow.
And is you throwing them books to read or what?
Not at that point I wasn't. But I'm always spitting knowledge. If you know me, I'm always have something to say.
You to
It's
go.
gonna come.
You gonna learn something from me within the first 5 minutes of talking to you.
Oh, it's gonna come. Yeah. That's what it's about though, putting your people on, man. That's what I'm about. No
So,
person left behind unless they want to be left behind. I don't care.
man, sometimes you just gotta drag people and you can't leave people behind.
Mm,
Sometimes you just gotta do it.
it's
That's
different
uplifting
people for
them.
different things.
Everything is a circumstance, huh?
It's different people for different things. There will be a person where that person is the designated pickup person, the dragger. They help people. There's the leader. There's the talker. There's the communicator. What's something that me and my mom always say is like, there's know your role in the revolution. Like it's everybody can have their role. Not everybody has to do the same thing. Not everybody has to be the leader. Not everybody has to do anything. Like, whatever you do in life, there's a role for you somewhere.
True. I think as a group, though, if you learn a lot and you pick up a lot from a specific, you know, person, that once it starts applying to you, it's going to start applying to you, the next friend, the next friend, the next friend. And eventually you guys will all be alike. Isn't that saying of you are who you hang around?
Yes and no. Like I see where you're going with it, but it's like just think of, for example, a club, right, on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, those people are alike because they work. They work together well. But at the end of the day, everybody has their designated roles. You got the president, the treasurer, the secretary. everybody in a club can't be the secretary. Cause then who's gonna do the president work? Who gonna
Ask,
manage the money?
ask how you can do it. That's my thing. Ask how you can do it, and the information will come to you. Don't never be afraid to ask how you can and
Always.
cannot do something. That should go for anything in life. Let's get back on the subject, though.
Yeah.
Let's get back on the subject.
For real. Okay, so what would you recommend to somebody to like build their like literacy skills or just want to get back into reading? They've been away from it for a minute, but like they see everybody else reading, our energy is contagious. They want to start.
Okay. Well, how did I start? That's the first question. How I started was probably from when we had our first discussion on creating a book club.
No, remember?
What?
This is how it started. Oh my gosh, I forgot. You started reading a Black feminist thought. And you highlighted one quote and you was like, Ariane, what does this mean?
Maya Angelou.
No, it was not
I
my
swear it was my. Oh no, it was that one little book that I had to get to that you still haven't
Black
given me.
feminist thought.
Yeah, Black Woman's Thought. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I still have it too.
I know.
But yeah, remember you highlighted that one quote and you asked me like, what does this mean? And we was like pondering on it and we was like, we should do this more often.
Right? It just feels good. You know what I'm saying? It's the energy right there. Me learning something from someone else is like the greatest feeling. I love it. So I wouldn't just be able to, I guess you could say, do that for someone else. So I guess you could say, there you go. That's how I got started into reading. Or how can I help myself become a better reader or better writer or anything? I would say first by just starting to do. Once you just start reading, if you don't know, like, let me find a book. Actually, it's a terrible book to book. For example, like I started with annotating my books, but it first started with like highlighting because I didn't want to annotate. I was like, man, like it's already taking me too long to read the book. Now I gotta annotate the book. Now I gotta think about the book. That's doing too much. But as I started, you started flipping some pages, I was just like, all right, what does this word mean? Okay. Oh, she's asking this question. Oh, I never asked that question. Like, let me think if I can flip her question or paraphrase her question and make it my own, and then start, flipping it just like that. And then, oh, I don't know what some of these words mean. Let me write that down. So it just started. That's how it started. And now I want to say I'm like 8, 9 books in, and I don't plan to, I don't plan to start. They say what? A millionaire reads 24 books in a year.
Let's do it.
I'm not a millionaire yet, but I will read two pages. Yeah.
You know what they say, like you're a millionaire before you're a millionaire. You gotta have that mindset first.
Yep.
So that's what it's
I
all
know.
about. The millionaire habits. But
Gotta-
like based on what you're saying, so first you said, you just started by doing, and I 100% agree. Like you got to just find a book that you like, one page at a time, one book at a time, because you're never like, for example, me, I bought all those books and I haven't read them all. If I was to go back, I would just start one book at a time and build my way up so I could say I have all these books, I read all these books. Now I'm playing catch up, which is fine, but like
Mhm.
just start. It's nothing more to it. Just do it like Nike says. And
Ah,
then also you mentioned which I really like is like how you read. And it's like you highlight, you make notes. And like for anybody that's reading and you really want to dive into a book, that's what you need to do to understand it on a different level. Because anybody can, skim through a page and read it, but who can really dissect it and understand the real meaning and apply it to their life? Not everybody can do that. And that's what is going to separate you. And that's where you're really going to gain the knowledge from the book. And I
right.
found myself like when I'm not annotating, I have a separate notebook similar to this that I just take my notes on. It literally says Ariana and has reads because it's just specifically for me to annotate my books. Because I don't really like writing in my books, but like some people do. But it's all your preference. But
Right.
you
I
know,
got a Google Doc. I have a Google Doc for that.
and
I
that
just
works too. Just
take
find
it.
what works for you. Because
Yeah.
what works for me may not work for you. But what we're saying, I think, is just to like dive deep into the books. If you're gonna read and make it count.
Build a foundation. Build a reading foundation first, and then as you continue to read, you're laying each brick. Then you eventually create your slab of concrete. Then you can start with building your house. And how you do that is like you said, annotate, Google Doc, write down.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what it's all about. And like once you start doing that, you're gonna be like, wow, you're gonna be able to retain the information you're reading way more. You're gonna notice stuff that you read in everyday life, like, I remember that. Or when somebody's doing something, like for example, with How to Win Friends and Influence People, like my mom talked about, she's a business owner, so she talked about like how like some of the employees may not be listening or just like it's hard being a leader because nobody ever wants to like do what you're saying. And I'm just saying like you approach it the wrong way. Like you should definitely read How to Win Friends and Influence People because the way you're carrying yourself as a leader isn't working for anybody else and you're not giving anybody any incentives to listen to you in the first place. And that's just an example of like reading a book, implementing it in your own life, and like being able to notice when other people aren't and giving advice based on that book.
starts with change. You are the immediate change.
Factual. So
Okay.
like what are your reading goals like in general?
Glad you just said that. So my reading goal, look, I gotta bring a whole board. So my goals just for April, because I have monthly goals set. So last month's goals were read 3 books. Um, I think I'm pretty sure I read 3 books. If not, then I know I read 2 books this month already. So it's read 2 books. One of them is going to be a self-help book. The other is going to be a psychology book. Haven't got to the psychology book yet. The self-help book would probably be the Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I gotta read. I want to say his little whole series of Rich Dad Poor Dad. And after that, it's learn about 3 new things in the book, along with my 3 new goals, or separate from my 3 new goals, and then write it down, ask questions, and that's really. And then see if I can memorize it later on in the day, or remember it later on in the day.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope, honestly. Um, what
Learn
about
that from you.
you didn't learn that from me.
That's
I don't do that.
you, godson.
I don't do that. But
What
yeah,
you do?
shoot. I mean, I have reading goals for the month. I just say I want to read one book a month. That's what I'm starting at. Cause I have so much I do that it's really hard for me to read like multiple books in a month. It's definitely doable, but it's all about time management, and that's just something that I'm working on. So, yeah, I just want to read 12 books by the end of the year, one book a month.
Look, dedicate 10 to 30 minutes to read a book. For example, I wake up between 6:30 to 8:30 and I'll dedicate 30 minutes. You said what?
That's where you lost me.
Oh yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? People don't like waking up early, but shoot,
I
that's what
will say though, like I was waking up early for a long time, like this year, for like the first 2 months of this year. I was waking up at 6:30 to study by 7, and it worked.
it
And I
had
felt like
happened.
much more. I felt really productive. I felt like I had way more time in my day. Like I would look at the clock, like it's only one. I got so much time in this day to do so much more. But like as I got busier throughout the semester, like I'm staying up later, so it's kind of impossible to wake up earlier.
What?
But if you go to sleep at 12 or 1 or 2,
Wake
waking up
up at 6, 7.
is feasible.
Look, 5. My people say 8 hours is the healthy way. I say 5 to 7 hours is good enough.
Not for me. I wake up tired, I'll go back to sleep. Literally.
You need to hop in the shower, take a cold shower, brush, eat. You're good. You got the energy for the day. If you're doing something productive, you're gonna have the energy for the day.
Yeah,
So,
true. I mean, I just if I go to sleep early enough, then I'll wake up early. But if not, down the drain.
oh yeah, we
But
got
yeah.
5,
Okay, so 3 books a month. That's
three
what you're doing.
books,
That's heck of books this year if you really do that. That's like 36
36 what?
books if you read 3 a month.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
my goal right now is just to be above 24. So, what? I'm all the way in. We're in dang April.
mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 12. I'm like 12 books right now.
I'm at 3 right now. I need to finish this book so I can start another for April.
Like, if you take too long to read a book, like you lose the story.
This one, see, when it's nonfiction, not really, because this is talking about locking up your own. It's basically about like how this book is really good actually, but it's kind of like how Black people play a role in mass incarceration without knowing it.
How?
It kind of talks about like how in high crime neighborhoods you have the people who are deeply affected by it, and like the pastors and like the community activists that are saying like, get these people out of our neighborhoods, get these people out of our neighborhoods, they're damaging our neighborhoods, they're breaking into our homes. So they're really advocating for like mandatory minimums, put these drug dealers in jail. And I never personally knew that. I always thought of like, okay, like Bill Clinton crime bill, like, which is true, but like for it to get there, there was people on a ground level voicing that too, and some of those people were Black. And this book breaks it down. And I don't think Black people knew what they were doing when they were doing that. Like they had good intentions, but it just turned out really bad, as we can see. But yeah, read this book. Shout out to Jamal, I think, for recommending this to me.
Look, you put me on like 3 different books that I have not read.
And it was surprising. Never mind.
Nah, say it. Come on, it's good.
I just can't say it. I can't.
Why? Why can't you say?
I'll tell you after. I can't.
Okay. If you're gonna remember, you're not gonna remember.
I'm gonna tell you directly after I stop this. But my last thing is like, can you read multiple books at once?
Yes.
I can't.
It's just like taking multiple classes at once, in my opinion.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, it's just like, you know what I'm saying?
That's a good way to look at it.
Read one, 10, 20 minutes, go to the next one, 10, 20 minutes, go to the next 20 minutes. As long as I have like an hour of reading in my day, an hour plus, I'm gonna.
That's a great way to look at it. Everybody is just like taking multiple classes. And it's not even that, because it's really easier. All you're doing is reading.
Yeah.
Anyway, so just add a little 30 minutes to an hour to your day to read. And most of us, if we're being honest, we don't even read them textbooks in college.
You don't read those textbooks in college. I read my textbooks in college. Look, if you listen there right now, you want to understand the concepts, read your textbooks. You don't have to go to no office hours. You don't have to talk to no professors. You'll understand.
You told me last time that you was going to office hours. So what happened?
Well, see, look, sometimes your classes are tough, and you know what I'm saying? You got to take the other option, and it's like, all right, let me go talk to the teacher real quick. You get me?
Know your major.
Biomedical engineering.
We didn't even do introductions. Go ahead, introduce.
Oh, me, huh? The name is George Anton Gonzalez.
Bruh.
Biomedical engineering is my major, and I like to read. That's my new hobby. The greatest activity to man.
Okay. Well, everybody know, I'm Ariane, 3rd year SJSU. I work at the Block. This is my talk show. We're going to have Mr. George on here way more, because this was a great discussion and it flowed, and we took it in so many different places and so many gems were dropped. So I hope you guys really enjoy this and implement some of the things that we're talking about. Just try one thing that you heard in this video, because I guarantee you're going to get something from it. Something.
Highlighter. Invest in a pencil.
It's right here. It's right at my disposal.
Boom.
It's always on.
Invest in yourself.
Please do. Because nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody going to put a book in your hand. Nobody's going to inject a knowledge with a freaking syringe in your head. It's not going to happen.
Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Oh.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. So yeah, please read book recommendations. You got them. Just to go over them one more time. For me, Locking Up Our Own is my current read right now.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, The Water Dancer. Bang that.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, Between the World and Me. This is my next read. I read it in high school, but I forgot about it. So I'm going to read it again.
Yo. Like, we just throwing up books like back to back. Think and Grow Rich.
Literally. Title:
Need
Think
it. Need
and
it.
Grow Rich.
That's it.
Brainwashed. We all are. This book will tell you why. Go read it.
Why? I need that.
You want to
Another
write
great. Oh, we said what?
what?
I was gonna say another great author, Simone de Beauvoir. She's a great author. Just go ahead and read her. I ain't gonna tell you what it is I'm reading, but just go read that. You'll love it.
For sure. Okay. Do you have like goals of like writing a book in the future?
Yes,
Me
I
too.
actually do.
I have my book title already. I want it to be called Water for Your Seeds So They Can Grow. If anybody steal my book title here, I'm catching fades.
Yeah, you need to. What are you doing? Now you gotta change it. You feel me? It's gonna blow up one day.
Nah. But
Look,
yeah,
it's gonna blow up one day. Look, I'm speaking into existence. It's gonna blow up. And I'm gonna come back to this like, remember, we was on this little talk. We was having a conversation.
I
And
said it. What did Nipsey say? I said it. I did it. I meant, I don't know. But yeah, that's on.
unless I'm mixing. That's on
Yeah.
it.
So
Nah, but
thank
yeah.
you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this conversation just as much as I did. It was really great. Gems were dropped. Thank you, George, for being here today. It's been great. Please come back.
Yeah.
Come back.
You need a sign off, Ariane.
Huh?
You need a cold little sign off. Like you
Dude,
need
I'm not
and an
creating that.
introduction.
I'm not
We're
creating.
gonna get this. We're gonna get this.
Yeah.
Oh, still live.
Yep.